Hey, are you thinking about moving to Las Vegas here in Nevada, but you're kind of looking for some tips that might make the process a little bit easier? You know, it could be quite stressful moving from state to state, and you want to kind of make that a little bit easier if possible. Well, stick around for this video. In this video, I'm going to go through some tips that might make it a little bit easier for you, and at the very least might give you some food for thought. And hey, we're going to start right now. Hey, if you're new here, first of all, welcome. Also, if you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good, the bad, even some tips to make moving to Las Vegas easier, please go ahead and subscribe. Tap on the bell for notifications so you'll be amongst the first to know about the local market conditions here in Las Vegas. My name is Peter, and I get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you actually, who are looking to make the move to Las Vegas. And I absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, please get in touch. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and I really would love to help you make a smooth move to the Las Vegas area. I've gone through relocation myself to the area, so I know exactly what it's like, from the excitement of planning and researching all the way through to moving day, and all the stress and ups and downs that go on in between. And whatever happens, just know that I've got your back on your move to Las Vegas. So today we're going to cover some tips that will make moving to Las Vegas a lot easier for you. Now, it obviously is a very stressful time moving across state lines, or in my case, moving across country, across the Atlantic Ocean in my case. I know how stressful it can be. I know all the ups and downs that come along on the journey. And even when you're moving house and you're in the same city, it's a stressful journey sometimes. So obviously when you're moving state, and if you've got deadlines that you have to meet, then it's definitely can be quite stressful. So honestly, I hope that at the very least this will make it a lot easier for you and give you some things to think about and help you on that journey. And I'm not going to put it in there as a reason, but one of the first things I'd say is, reach out to me, contact me, get in touch, and we can go through the step-by-step process, and I can help you make it an easier transition. Going through it myself, I know exactly the things to look out for. Even before I became a realtor, I knew exactly what the process was because I went through it myself, and I didn't move state to state. I moved across the country during COVID as well, during a pandemic, which was a very stressful time to be moving and up in sticks and moving across the other side of the world. So I had to do a lot of planning myself, a lot of researching, a lot of dialogue with my wife, who was already over here at that stage, and trying to put things in place for where we were going to be moving to, where our house was going to be, all the things that you need to consider, like schooling, the area, the crime rates, the job opportunities, everything else you need to think about. We had to try and plan from a distance. So, I'd love to help you on that. So I'd say, one of the first things to consider is definitely do please reach out. And as I said, my contact details are all below. I'm available all the time, and I've got a really good, easy flowing style of communication. I'm not a pushy type of person. More of a friendly approach is my way of doing it. So if that aligns with you, then do get in touch. So one of the first things to consider would definitely be identifying your criteria and your ideal location. You need to really think about location. If you're coming to Vegas as a tourist, you probably haven't ventured too much out of the main part of the strip, for instance, and you really want to try and get some research done on the local areas. I have other videos on the channel that have looked at different areas, which you can go back and have a look at. And there's plenty more to come as well on this channel from the different areas as well. It's got a lot cooler now. It's not in the height of summer, so it'll be a lot easier to film outside for me and not worry about getting sunburnt so much as I probably was a little bit in the summer. So plenty more videos of the local areas to come as well to give you more information. But definitely identify your location. Me and my wife, we were very specific. We wanted to live in Henderson and we wanted to live in Green Valley, and that's what we zoned in on. We also looked at other areas. We looked at Summerlin, we looked at the Northwest area. They were also on our list, but we really focused on our area and where we wanted to live, and that's where we've ended up living now. We're super happy living in Green Valley and Henderson, and I think I've gone through the reasons why we chose the area on one of my other videos. But you need to choose what's right for you, and everyone's circumstances are the same. You could be moving as a family, You could be moving as a working professional, you could be moving as a couple, you could be moving as a retiree. So everyone's circumstances are going to be different, and different locations are going to work for different people and different budgets and different home styles that they want. But you need to really focus in on the location. I think location is the most important aspect in it, and you can never be too informed when it comes to location. Separate from that, then you need to identify the rest of your criteria and what you're looking for in a home, and what your ideal home will look like, or your dream home will look like. And then you need to be more specific and go from just what could be a fairy tale or a wish, and really have your wants and your needs. And the needs are more important obviously than the wants. You know, we'd all want a beautiful, gorgeous looking house, but what do we need? You need a certain amount of bedrooms, you need a yard if that's important for you. A pool might be important for you, so that could go on the needs. The budget might be something that has to go on the needs. So really plan it out, and that'll be the best place for me if I was starting again. I'd say start there. And then that flows nicely into the next point. And when you've really identified your location and your criteria, and hey, also I'm going to point out that your criteria and location is going to be completely fluid and can completely change multiple times. And especially when you start looking at homes, quite often people will say, Peter, this is non-negotiable, this is where I want to be, this is the type of house I want. And then you go looking at homes, and not just looking on Zillow, but looking in person or through a live, we can do a live Zoom call on video, and you can get to see what the homes are looking like, and everything can completely change. You know, you get a different feeling when you're actually looking at homes. So just be aware that the things that I just mentioned there with the wants and the needs and the location, that's completely fluid. So that will change and develop and probably go round in circles a couple of times. So just be aware of that. I don't think many people, especially if you're moving state to state and might be the first time you're doing this, I don't think what you start with is what you end up as. And that's not a good or a bad thing. That's just the process and how the process is. But just to piggyback off that, then the second point that I would make is, you know, once you've identified those things, we'll set you up on an individual personalized search criteria. And then we'll be sending you, you know, relevant homes that are relevant to what you're looking for. And that makes that you're not getting all the noise and all the nonsense of all the other stuff that is out there. You're just getting homes sent to your inbox on a daily, bi-weekly, once a weekly, whatever it is that works for you and how far out you are in the process. Send you the relevant homes and the relevant properties. And then you can have a real comparison of what they look like on paper, and then start drawing up a list of, you know, maybe ones you want to come out and have a look at. Or I can, as I said, I can do a video tour for you that can be live, or I can send you those videos as well, whatever works for you and your schedule. But getting that in, you know, that personalized search criteria set up, that lets you then have access to the homes. As they hit MLS, you'll get access to the homes straight to your inbox. And you can change that yourself. We'll set it up for you, but you can change that yourself. If you're getting loads of 3-bedroom houses and you can actually see, you know what, we can afford a 4th bedroom, and, you know, we might have an extra kid on the way or whatever, you can adjust the search criteria and the parameters to match what it is you're looking for as well. And then I'll also see the homes that you're looking at, so I'll be able to, you know, maybe adjust some things as well and let you know, hey, I've adjusted this because I see you're looking at mostly these homes in this area. I get real-time feedback on that as well, so we can keep it all going along smoothly for you to make sure ultimately you get the best home for the best price that works best for you. The next tip would be, you know, to schedule a time to come and visit the city, come and visit Las Vegas or Henderson, whichever it is that you're looking at. And I don't mean come visit as a tourist and, you know, hit the strip and go to casinos and party. I mean, actually visit and spend a weekend or so just driving the neighborhoods, you know, behaving like a local, seeing what the grocery stores are going to be like, what the schools look like on the outside if schooling is going to be important to you, what some of the local parks feel like if that's going to be important to you. Just drive in the neighborhood so you can get an actual feel of what it is actually like living here as opposed to being here as a tourist, because they are completely different things. I didn't actually like necessarily visiting Vegas as a tourist. It wasn't always on my list of places to visit, but I really enjoy living here and I've really embraced living in the area. Something I never thought I would say when I first actually probably had to come around to the idea of moving here. Now I absolutely love it, and there's probably nowhere else I'd rather be at this part of my life. So definitely different experiences as a tourist and living here. So you need to come and spend some time to just drive the neighborhoods, see where things are that are going to be important to you, and stay away from the strip. You know, maybe go and have a meal if you want on the strip, but spend as much time off strip as possible and drive the neighborhoods that you're considering moving to, whether that's Summerlin, Henderson, Aliante, anywhere else that it is that you're considering, and just have a real good feel for them. And that way you'll know what it could potentially be like living here. Absolutely important. And also, whilst you're doing that, we can try and arrange a couple of property tours. Even if you're really early in the process and you haven't nailed everything down yet, we can still arrange a couple of property tours so you can have a look at what some of the homes are like and what the budget will allow in that certain circumstances. So definitely schedule that, and I'd love to look after you on that tour as well, and that visit, and line up some things for you when you're here. The next tip, and you know, this should be quite early in the process as well, but it also depends how far out. You know, if you're looking at moving in a year, then it's not necessarily an immediate concern. If you're moving in the next 3 months, then it should be done quite early as well. And that's securing your financing. You know, you need to know what it is you're playing with. You wouldn't go on a long drive in a car and a long road trip and not know how much gas is in your car. You want to know that you've got enough to make it, or else you're going to be stopping on the way. So definitely secure your financing. If you're a cash buyer, then that's not so much of a concern. You just need to have it in your bank account and ready to send to your realtor when you're submitting offers. But if you're not, if you're doing it on mortgage and you need to get a loan, definitely try and secure that as soon as possible and get a pre-approval, not a qualification. They're completely different things. You want to have a pre-approval from your lender saying that you are approved for this amount, whatever amount that is and whatever terms it's going to be. And then that way, when you're ready to start putting offers in, that's ready to go as well. I'd also say be careful who you use as a lender. A lot of people think that their bank that they use, for instance, might be the best option because they have a relationship, and that's not always the case. You know, that's not their main concern. So if you have a great mortgage officer that you know and have a relationship with, absolutely use them. Or, you know, I've got some great recommendations, and I can give you 1, 2, 3 recommendations and you can compare them all. But ultimately you got to choose the right one for you. But I have had a few people that have used their bank and it hasn't gone so smoothly. We got there in the end, but there was a few delays just because the bank completely messed it up and they didn't seem too bothered about it. So just be careful who you use is what I'm saying. I'm not saying use my lender. You can use whichever lender it is that works for you, but you want to make sure that you're using a good one that's going to do everything they can to get you closed on time and everything funding as soon as possible on the best terms for you. But try and secure that as soon as you can in the process, especially if you're going to be around a month, 2 months, 3 months out of purchasing, then definitely get that arranged. And then the final point is managing the process. You know, it is a process. Starting at the very start and the planning and the research and identifying your criteria, your location and your individual, you know, personalized home searches, all the way through to closing day and getting the keys and having the home as yours and officially owning that home. It is a process. So managing that process is important, and managing expectations on that process is also important. I like to think I've got a really open way of communicating, and I'll communicate with you and hold your hand as much as you want on the process. I'm not overbearing, but at the same time, I'm always going to be there. If you have a question that needs answering, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be there, as I said, as much as you need. But managing that process, managing the timelines and the deadlines that will occur, especially when you enter contract on a property, you'll have some very strict deadlines in terms of your due diligence and getting your inspections done, in terms of your appraisal contingency for your loan, if that's going to be something that you're getting done, in terms of your loan contingency and having that loan finalized as well. So, you know, you got to make sure that those deadlines are all being met, as well as your own personal deadlines. If you have a home to sell, you know, and you've only started looking now at purchasing, you also need to think about selling your home in your current state or city that you're in. You need to also remember the timelines that it's going to take maybe 30, 35, 40 days to sell that home, and you want to try and make sure they match up as possible. If you are looking to sell a home in a different state, I've got a great referral network across the country, and I'll be happy to reach out to one of my other partners and put you in touch with them and help make sure it's a smooth process on the selling side, so that we can get them all to line up and, you know, cause you less stress and less time out of home as possible. I don't want you to be spending money in a hotel if that's not necessary. So definitely managing the process, managing the timelines, And throughout the process, from the very start, when you reach out to me, all the way through to closing day, I'll always be there for you every step of the way, and I'll be helping you managing that process as well. But definitely it's important, 100% is managing the process, because it can easily slip away from you as well. So that'll be just the final note from me, would be to make sure you manage that process. And that's it, guys. That's some really quick tips to help making the move to Las Vegas for you a lot easier and a lot less stressful than it can be. I hope you found it helpful. If you have already moved to Las Vegas previously and you feel I've missed something out that you would have liked to have known back then please drop that down in the comments below, because you don't just help me, but you help someone else who's watching this video and looking at making that move to Las Vegas. So thank you for that. I also want to say thank you to those of you who are watching my videos. I hope you're finding them useful and helpful. And also a big shout out to all the clients that have already reached out to me. I love working with you all, and it's been a great process getting to know you and your wants and your needs, and you on a personal level as well. So I appreciate the support and trust you've put in me. Just as a reminder, if you are looking to make the move to Las Vegas, then please do get in touch. I would really love to help. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever works best for you. And I really would love to help you make an easy, stress-free, smooth move to Las Vegas. But until the next time, thanks again for watching, and you take care. Hey, are you thinking about moving to Las Vegas here in Nevada, but you're kind of looking for some tips that might make the process a little bit easier for you? Fantastic, stick around for this video. In this video, I'm going to go through some of the reasons, some tips. Hey, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Also, if you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good, the bad, even some tips on making the move easy. And I'm not going to put it in there as a reason, but one of the first things you should do is, hopefully me, but